A fish tank contains 5 yellow fish, 3 blue fish, and 2 orange fish. If I reach in with a net to scoop out 2 fish, what is the expected value for my getting 2 blue fish? So whenever you have a problem like this, always look for the keywords that are going to tell you what am I looking for in this problem. And in this case, it's the 2 words here, expected value. So if we're going to do an expected value problem, we need a probability distribution chart, which is exactly what I have here. So the first thing we need to figure out is what are the x's? What are the values, the random variables that we have in this problem? Well, since we're scooping out 2 fish, that's what the problem tells us. That means that when we scoop out those 2 fish, we can either get 0 blue fish, and that is our first x. We can get 1 blue fish, that is our second x, or both of the fish could be blue and we would get 2 blue fish. So these are our x's, and now we need to go ahead and figure out what the probability for each of those is. Well, since this is a probability problem where we are taking 2 things out of 10 things total, because there's 5 yellow, 3 blue, and 2 orange, so we have 10 fish altogether, our sample space is going to be the combination of choosing 2 things out of 10. So for each of these probabilities, our denominator looks like 10 choose 2. So that's going to be the same because that's just the sample space. And we know that in probability, once you have your sample space, it's the same for all of your probabilities within that problem. That's our denominator. But now we need to go to the specifics. So no blue fish. Well, what that would mean is that if we choose our blue fish first, we are choosing from the 3 blue fish, none. So that's our 0. And the problem is that we're not done at that point. It's not just the combination of 3 choose 0, because we do have to pick 2 fish out of the fish tank, which means that from the 7 other fish that are in that tank, we're going to choose the 2 fish. So the 2 fish are being picked out of the 5 yellow and the 2 orange. So that's the first probability, and we can compute that in a minute. If we have 1 blue fish that we get, that means that when we choose the blue fish, we are choosing 1 blue fish out of the 3 that we have. So that's the combination of 3 choose 1. And this other fish, because again, we are picking out 2 fish, the other fish that we have in the net is coming from the other 7 fish. And then for the last one, we just have 3 choose 2. That's 2 out of the 3 blue fish that we have times 7 choose 0. So that's the setup of all of our probabilities. So go ahead, take a minute, and let's compute those. So after our computations, we end up with the first probability being 12 out of 45, the second one being 21 out of 45, and the third one being 3 out of 45. So in order to find our expected value, we're going to go ahead and we're going to multiply each x times its probability. So we've got 0 times 12 over 45 plus 1 times 21 over 45 plus 2 times 3 over 45. Well, this we can cross off because 0 times anything is just 0. And so we get 21 over 45 plus 6 over 45, which is equal to just 27 over 45. When we do the division here, we get 0.6, which means that the expected value, if we scoop out 2 fish, is that we will have 0.6 blue fish in that net.